Welcome to TNT Signs of Times Reports by Toby Lee Milwee, guys. It's the 6th of May, Saturday morning. It's probably around 8 a.m. We're going by the clock right now so you can see. And it was fun growing up in California as a kid during most of the 70s and 80s. It was awesome. My dad worked at a company called Vernon Paving in Irwindale and Blue Diamond Rock Quarry. They had Livingston Graham across the street, Sally Miller. The Dick Sprinkle owned Vernon Paving. And there was an asphalt plant there at Irwindale. And there was also one in Gardena. And my dad would haul rock and sand at night. He'd wrench on trucks during the day. 37 degrees. It's actually 34, and I just went by here. It's 7:53 a.m. But it's pretty chilly here. And I was watching Aphrodite Rose Starfire yesterday, and she's like wearing a beanie, like a snow cap in Los Angeles. When I grew up in Los Angeles, you couldn't find one of these. It wasn't around. I mean, people just didn't wear stuff like that, man. We had Ocean Pacific, tank tops, maybe a hoodie, sweater, or a Pendleton, but nothing, it never got below 50 degrees, you know what I'm saying? So something's going on. Either the poles shifted or, the jet streams changed, And I don't think any crops are going to yield anything this year. It makes sense to me. When we came in here yesterday morning here, our Paro Inn, or whatever its name is, there was pivots running out here. The one kid I interviewed last night, he says, he goes, hey man, somebody record some of that, It was 75 degrees 3 days ago. It's dropped 40 degrees. I think summer done came and went, man. Gardena, taking sand down there. My dad there was two trucks that they had a Mack that Bern Clapsaddle owned, and he had his son drive Myron, and Vince Hurd had a 69 Peterbilt, and that had bottom dumps, and Kim Williams drove for Vince at night, and my dad would too. The only time that truck ever shut off was on Sunday, and that was to change the oil and grease it and look over everything on it, The motor held 10 gallons of oil, I remember that, so I'd ride with Ken at night. We usually did about 4 loads at night. The truck could sit in the yard and run for 2 hours, it didn't matter, It's a ditch, right? And Ken always wore cowboy boots. I never see Ken wear slippers and nothing but cowboy boots, man. And you get down there to Gardena, you go in through the gate and you get up on the Grizzly, nipped us up on a hill. And my job was, somebody at the shop gave my dad a small hard hat. It's about half the size of a hard hat. And nobody ever wore the hard hats unless the superintendent was coming, and nobody ever wore it past. And everybody had a blue shirt and dark pants, uniforms, their name on it. Every time I go to my dad's rock quarry with him there at the shop, somebody'd sneak up behind me and, hey, little Hank, and they'd slap me on the head, I was, and it's nice to remember stuff, and nobody else does, it's just a beautiful life. Yesterday I hear somebody out there put a comment up that they like living in a box, and some people put a comment up there saying, "I'll listen to homeless." Well, you know what, man, you did. We got a lot of hypocrites, man. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of devil worshipers in their own community. It's been kind of rolled off. It cracks me up too. Nobody can ever anything. But my job was to get down there to Gardena. We had motion lights. You go up on a hill, the bottom dumps. You'd haul 3/4 crush, 1/2 inch, 3/8, rock dust and sand. That was pretty much what the asphalt plant intake was. And I'd get down there and, gosh, it was like, probably be about 1980, 81, 2, 3. And my job was you'd go in to pick up the load, and you'd have to look for the loader, And at night, you'd flash the lights or to do something, you'd head over towards the pile, There's all these conveyor belts and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And the loader would hit you up, and get you loaded, both trailers. And, excuse me, and then you'd roll up onto the scales at the little scale house, and they would give you a ticket. And if you were overloaded, your GBW had to be like 80,000 pounds or 40 tons, whatever. And if you were overloaded, it'd piss off old Ken, it'd piss off my dad. It'd be like, oh, geez, you have to go back and break the gates a little bit, give her a little pneumatic air-driven gates, not hydraulics, but pneumatic. Once you got your ticket, you were loaded correctly by not being overloaded. You'd roll the tractor off the scale, and that front trailer, you just take a little off the back. That's what we do. I never got a truck for that one, but down in Gardena, you pull up over to Grizzly, you know what I mean, and it had like a big tunnel, like a big funnel, My job was to get out, and if the conveyor was in the right spot, you had like 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it, and you had to make sure you had enough room between the end of the conveyor and your pile, and it was the right one, The lights would light up as you pulled up there. And on the conveyor belt, I'd run back there, it would have a red and green button. And the green one would be glowing. And as soon as you hit that conveyor and turned it on, the red one would glow. And you crack the gates, you know what I mean? And let that material come out and fill up that silo, like a big funnel, And you'd have to wait for the conveyor belt to catch up, you know what I'm saying? And when you got it all fed, you take the gates and bang them, boom, 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 open them, boom, 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 Make sure you're not spilling shit down the freeway, And I'd go get on a running board, and Ken would pull up to their next load up there. It saved a lot of time, it really did, because he'd be doing the paperwork. See, when you got the load loaded, you had miles to calculate, and you had, I think there was a time on it too, and what the GBW was, what you were, well, the scale kind of punched in what you had, there was no way you could go stealing that material, you know what I'm saying? Everything had to be accounted for, the fuel, the cost, and for the superintendents of the paving company to be able to try to make it a efficient company. And it was cool, man. We get that back trailer up there on that hill, and the nose of the truck and the front would be pointed down. And, you had the back seats, the red and yellow button, You got brakes for the truck and brakes for the trailers, And I'd get back in the truck, and old Ken would smash the buttons in, and we'd take off coast all the way down to the scale, It was awesome, 4 loads a night. You get back down on the scale, and then you would weigh. Everybody get their copy, pink, and it was a white paper, a pink paper, and a yellow paper, so you get a copy. Everybody was, everything was cordial. And then my job was, when we picked up the loads to write the miles in, they'd hand me the miles, it's like 435, 910, okay. I'd say it back, yep, that's right, okay, they'd look at it real quick, yeah, that's what he put, okay. It's like it wasn't even a clipboard, it was like a little book, it was like smaller paper, but not full-size paper, It wasn't a little tiny book, it wasn't a log book. Because everybody got a copy of that load, My dad's buddy Delacruz, he hauled hot asphalt, and if I got kicked out of school, I didn't ride with his ass, And he drank on the job, man. That's the first time I ever got drunk, was in old Delacruz. I only think I was like 12 years old, and he had a 65 Peterbilt. and his buddy Kramer, they were both drunk all the time. It was fun growing up and remembering stuff, and I get bashed a lot, people don't like it, man. They don't want to hear the truth, and they're very aggressive, and it just hurts my feelings, man. There was nobody as wicked back then as there is now. The people's just really turned, they aren't the same as they used to be, There's just, there was 3 superintendents in that plant, or that rock painting company. The old Doc Fager liked me, man. My dad's all, Little Hank, or Fager would be like, Little Hank, And be up there on that, just had a good time. I always felt so important that I'd get out of the truck and drop that load off, it meant a lot to me when I was a kid. I was never over arrogant about it, Don't forget, a bunch of bicycles over there. I did get with my bicycle business until people fucked me over. I lost all my people on YouTube over it. That's cool. I can't get back going again. That's all right. If you can't get it by now, you never will. Something bad's going to happen in a minute. Yeah. Alex sounds like his foot's in the door of the car or something. That's why I just don't really. The plant we had in Irwindale had a mama dog too. The coyotes about tore her back leg clean off, man. And the plant operator he was a shot caller, because that's what he was, operator, Jesse Garcia. We pulled in one day, man. It was like probably 1983. There's all these police everywhere. And I told my dad, I said, the plant blew up or caught on fire or something. And my dad's, oh, you dumb fuck. He goes, there's no fire department or any smoke or nothing. He goes, they got caught for stealing loads. And that's what happened. My dad says, you can't lie about the oil, It was pretty sad, man. That changed kind of a lot. It was only nobody ever got hurt. It wasn't nobody ever having to wear a vest. It wasn't all this shit you had to be safe for you. And, people's really turned to beats and just thinking the government cares about them. It's just a joke. It's going to make me cry. It is. People's just so mean. There wasn't nobody like that then. Our people's just wicked, man. And they don't remember shit. And they don't appreciate anything. You do. You remember. So we have a kind of a weird weather here. It's just not really normal to me. I mean, I'm not from this area. It's like 6,000 feet right now, and that's where we're at. It's kind of, we grew up, we moved to the high desert in 1986, and it was about 3,700 feet elevation. And Big Bear get a lot of snow, but we didn't, it wasn't really that much higher. I mean, I know 6,000 is getting up there though, but still, it's awfully dang cold for as long as the days are, Excuse me. It was probably, there was frost, so I got up underneath the bridge out here and got back down on the grass so I don't get busted. People just call it police on me because they know those keep prodding and poking me around. And what I see happening on the bottom out here, guys, is going to happen to everybody. That's, I wish I could get off the street or build bicycles or do something like you used to, and get a surgery or do something, but it's just glasses, teeth. It's nice to me and my cats to make videos. I think it is. Goes down there and just made money all day yesterday. I could have stood out there and made money all day yesterday down here 2 miles down when we came in. I could have just stayed right there and made money all day yesterday. And went through Salt Lake, picked up some crystal meth and shit while I'm going through. Maybe a hooker, So I could have got me some drugs, going through Salt Lake. But if I didn't make any videos, I could have got me some marijuana too. Love pot. I'm going through Salt Lake City. I could just stay out there and make money yesterday. Lucky the people's not going to wake up anyways. Fuck it, who do drugs? Might not have tomorrow to do it, right? I think we're doing pretty good here. I think we are. You know, there's nothing in the store. Okay. There's nothing in the store. There's nothing in this brand new store. The store has nothing in it, man. What's going on? Why is it 33 degrees this morning? At least that. I mean, 32 it had to have been. I mean, I just saw pivots from them yesterday. What's going on? Is this? Are we going to yield any crops this year? I mean, it's been kind of a long winter, hasn't it? It sure did snow and rain a lot, didn't it? Why isn't it stopping? You know, the one dude said I was shocked when that kid told me last night. He goes, it was snowing yesterday morning, and I go, I know. Way in the hell out here. And I did see the highway. It's over there. I don't give a shit. I'm going that way. The highway doesn't go to Pocatello, Idaho, which we're going somewhere where we're going, and you know, by July 4th, we'll just get off the internet, get rid of this tracking device. You know, it's not gonna make any money. It's gonna eat time. You know, the people's not gonna. You know, the people that's left is, you know, just bashers, man. You know, people just bash you. You know what I mean? Because they want to be sold out. And they don't want to do nothing about it. And they're certainly not very godly. You know, I remember when Vern Clapp Saddle passed away. I remember when Kim Williams passed away at 43 years old. He chewed a lot of dip. That's the first time I ever chewed dip with, too, man. You know what I'm saying? 10 hours a night in that truck. You know, my seat in that truck was in that Kenworth. It had like it wasn't no air ride then. You know what I'm saying? And all I had was a cushion on the seat for my skinny little ass, man. I mean, it'd wear you out riding in that truck. I got high off a dip for the first time, and it knocked me on my ass, man. I'd get kicked out of school. I'd beg my dad, you know. And my dad would never let me do shit, but everybody else would, you know. And I'd go home and say, hey, man, I dropped all the loads last night. Yeah, pea gravel, 3/8, half-inch, 3/4 crush, and rock dust. Where in the hell's that cigarette he just had? It was really fun growing up in Southern California in the 80s. You know, you go in there and the guys in the loader. I mean, everybody had like a little Stanley lunchbox. You know, nobody went out eating all the time. You know, the people, that wasn't allowed. You know, there wasn't all this fast food in every gas station and shit. It wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't not like that. And people had a little coffee cup about this big on their thermos. They didn't have these 80-ounce cups. And, you know, everybody just thinks we're so special, man. You know, I go in these gas stations to buy something, and there's these, you know, there's always the largest. There's my damn lighter from last night. Oh, I got a spare. The guy stole my lighter. I was trying to get a ride with you today. The kid's going to steal another one from work anyways. But, you know, they didn't have all these 80-ounce coffee cups and shit. Every time I go into the gas station or McDonald's, there's people that work there that's eating up the food and stuff. Just like my dad stealing all that oil and diesel fuel and gas from work. You know what I mean? We used to dump a lot of oil out on our property. You know, he'd change his oil and stuff when he drove 200 miles back from the Center Valley to Irwindale. And he worked out a Fontana yard after they bought it. But, you know, I had to take care of some business and make sure I'm not responsible for any of that stuff. And that's why we're way down south right here. And I won't record nothing about my family. Make sure it ain't my ass. And my half-brother and sister can fight all they want over that shit. You know what I mean? Because they never got along anyway. So I was the first one on my dad's Teamsters pension, you know. I was the first one to be taken off of it, too. You know, it's good. Nice to help the old man. I was working at 15 years old, man. Had a full-time job at 15 years old, man. I get called names and stuff here. This country's got a lot of satanic folks. They don't even know. All this panhandling on the internet. When it's Friday, people go out and party and drink and do it. And then they say, well, I like freedom. It's like, no, you don't. You're just trying to say you don't drink and party on Friday. You know, what else do you don't do? You know what I mean? Fucking liar. Got some fresh snow here. You know what I'm saying? Got some really nice ribs in the sky there. The sun's not going to rise. And this is like it's going on a week of overcast. There's one thing I want to make a point about. Is all this shit is not coming from the north. It's coming from the south. It blows my mind that all this cold's coming from the south. I forgot about that. The wind's coming from the south. It's bringing the clouds in from the south. This way, okay? That way. I mean, if it's that cold down in California and Nevada, wow. Because it's lower elevation, man, it's just freezing, man. There's actually fresh snow right where that semi is at, right about there. You can see mountains behind there. It's got fresh snow. It's nuts, okay? Here it is going to be June and it's still snowing. So you ain't going to have no crops, okay? Let's wipe out all the people, the 20% that Gates didn't get his hands on. They're smaller places, more likely, privately owned. You don't think you're going to yield nothing here this year. You know what I mean? It's the snowstorm that happened in Salt Lake, man. There was way down in Arizona, there was chunks of ice falling off trucks and stuff. I mean, big chunks of ice, you know. They don't... People's going to be a rude awakening now. It's coming. This is private property. No trespassing. You know. It's okay. That means welcome to them terrorists when they get here. And you know, it's all sleeper cells coming in the country too, because you forgot about the election and how they let them all in to win the election anyway. Yeah. There isn't a wall. So whoever wanted to come in came in. It's always been like that. You know, if the 42 ends, my ass. That's when they're telling you, man. And 4 and 2 is 6. They ain't good either. It's going to be a deep 6, okay? Got 800,000 sleeper cells are coming to the country. You'll see, they'll be out like they look Hispanic, but they're actually Chinese that know Spanish and Chinese. I moved the stuff and I kind of had I don't know if the sheriff saw me or not, but he drove by and I don't know if he's looking at us or not. Somebody's sitting up here though. Broke. Well, $42 or something, 10 minutes yesterday, 15 and broke. I got a sign that says hungry on it. I get 2 5s, another 5 and a 20, right, all in a row. You know, Jesus, I stood there for a little longer. Yeah. I did my laundry, you know what I'm saying? Still, I put on my dry socks yet. I walk out the door and it's just poured down rain on me. And it was hailed. Snow, hail, and rain yesterday. And it did. It's going to be something that you're not going to be used to. If you think the government cares about you, warmed up in your house. And, oh, it's cold. No, it's all, you're warmed up. That's what it is. It's not cold. You're warmed up, okay? And when you get cold, you're not going to make it, okay? Yes, you know. You're not going to make no fire or nothing because everything's soaking wet. You don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? We've already gotten prepared for all that. People's up there selling these little fire igniter cotton ball things. And what happens when you use those and they run out? I could get it from Amazon. Your buddy's not having any. And you get a fire going and you can't contain it. You get your location, probably hurting everything else, the wind shifts or something. It runs a bunch of animals out there to get you. You're afraid of the dark and all kinds of stuff. There's no way prepared. There's just people up there trying to make a buck while it's still spendable. That shit's they brought that digital money. The backcourt bait finishes sinking, you're screwed. No more riding one way on YouTube, All the bashing and the flagging and the ratting and the telling, and there'll be no more of that. We won't be up there. We're going to be off here. I'm just glad I get to retire. That's my retirement. You know, I'll get out of the way. That is the sheriff. You know, I'll get out of your way. You know what I'm saying? Let's ride by this window all down, you know. Why would you park here on a bridge where you have no visibility? I'm just waiting for my stuff to get stolen. Most of the guys my dad went to worked with, you know, they retired. They didn't draw a check for a year. They didn't. They sure didn't. The cop kept going good. He's going to tell you what to do, you know. He's high patrol. I mean, turn around, ride my bicycle uphill back to the spot I came from. So I'm not going south. What are you doing on the interstate? I'm jerking off. Oh, you're jerking off. It's like I'm trying to go fucking north, okay? Let's see, like it's not gonna stop snowing. It's pretty crazy weather here, I think it is. You know, all these mountains turn green where it used to be red. They're still green. You know, yeah. So you can't see where we're at. We're well prepared to put up with a girl by night society. You know, that's just been rolled off a girl by night government. And a love for money and witchcraft, okay? You like your money so much, it's witchcraft money. It's atomic bomb money. And it's satanic, okay? All that bashing that goes along with it. Racism, judgment. Those Japs. You know. Those Japanese got a free place to live when they rolled out that racism. Those Japs. It's a trash country. And they have absolutely ruined the weather, man. It's crazy. What's up, buddy? Everybody blows a horn in your face, man. The people get behind you, and the cops do it, the people do it. You got like these train horns. Like to scare the shit out of you, man. You know, the people's gonna blow their horn. What does that mean? I think it means I'm a fucking asshole, okay? And the people's gotta, like they think they're in their car, they think they're Rambo watching TV or something. They won't pull over and face you off or do anything. They're cowards, you know. And if you look at our military, they are our people. So anyways, we go to 30 minutes. Here it is. There's absolutely no traffic. Last night, there were so many trailers and shit that went by going south with no taillights. You know what I mean? I've seen so many cars drive by without the proper taillights. You know what I mean? The taillights are burned up. And there was tons of traffic going south to Vegas to blow their money. And nobody hardly going north anyways. Tons of people going to blow their money. With China and the movie Casino over there in Vegas. Because they're greedy. They just have a little money and they want more, you know. Because the people's greedy. See, that's what we are. We're greedy. And we don't want to raise up about manufacturing or lowering your deficit. You just want to point at your gay-ass military, you know. And that cracks me up. You can tell we're losing in Ukraine, okay? All that money. Zelensky's on the run. Now he's going to Miami. I'm going to Miami. Which rapper was that? Or the roof is on fire. I remember that. It's an attack on the Kremlin. It was an attack on the flag. That's what I see, because Vladimir Putin don't stand on the roof of the Kremlin. But anyways, everybody's dumbfounded, and everybody followed that bait, and it's hilarious. Anyways, we love you. We care about you. We're out.